Hey, so I've got this idea because I saw that you could take the hooves of a deer and you could actually pull this black cap off. And some people do some weird things with it, like a rattle or something. And then you can also take these, I forget what these are called. We'll just call them dorsal fins for now. But anyways, I'm gonna take these off, and then what I want to do is actually take the bone out of here at the knuckle and up here at the knuckle, and then use the tendons as some string. And what I want to make is a Nubby NoNo. Now, this is just the name I'm coming up with right now off the top of my head, but this was from a Nubby buck that my dad shot. And it's really bad juju at my land. And what I want to do is make some kind of spiritual rattle that I can rattle at him basically for the rest of his life every time we go hunting. And I'm gonna call it the Nubby NoNo. So let's find out. So basically from what I've seen is that it's pretty easy to get these nails off by just soaking it in some hot water. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna slit down the middle and get this, the fur off of this one, and then I'm gonna leave it on the other. So on here it looks like there's one on this end. It just looks like you can just slice that off. It's a tendon. And then from what I've seen, it's easier to sort of cut this one open. Cut this up, yeah. So it's in kind of like a sack, I guess. These. There's two of them there. And now these, I guess these are what is the sinew. This tendons, but this is the part where I'm actually thinking that I can split this maybe 3-4 times and make a string out of these pieces. So I'm taking it all apart right now, but not necessarily gonna use all of it this time. So there was one on the back, and then there's this last one, which I believe is the one that's best for the glue. But I'm not making glue. Probably won't use this one for the Nubby NoNo, at least not this time. And hopefully there will never be another Nubby NoNo that ever has to be made. I don't know what I got here. So, like I said, there's this two main ones on the back that go down to these dorsal fins. So I'm just gonna cut the skin off here. I don't plan to do anything with this skin, even though I am tanning the hide. You can see my other videos for tanning a hide. Gonna be processing all the meat today as well, but not making a video about that because my videos are stuff that I've never done, and I've plenty of times made burger from a deer. So anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm waiting for the water to boil, and I'm just gonna soak this. Okay, so I don't have the water boiling. It came to a boil, and I've let it kind of simmer off a little bit. And now I'm going to take and I'm just going to let it sit in there for just like a little bit, and then just like a minute, and see what happens. If you're watching this and you know my wife, do not tell her that I was doing this in the house, because she will lose her mind. Might want to have something a little bit taller, because I can just see I'm not keeping it wants to pop up like that, rather than keep those dorsal fins in there. So I guess you just need to get it warmed up. Definitely don't tell her I did this. So based on videos that I've seen, I just need a little bit of paper towel to get a grip on it, and I should be able to just pull them off. Just seems too good to be true, but they say, from what I've seen, is that an older deer would maybe be a little tougher, that they're not all easy. So I guess if it's a Nubby buck and it's only been alive for 6 months, Dad, potentially they'll just take themselves off. So I know you don't want to cook it. Let's see if these little ones pop off. I can't believe it, but it actually did just pop right off. So that's the little one. I just kind of pull it back. Now for the big one. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that actually came off of there so easily. So I guess this part is called the frog. The frog. That's kind of cool. I can't believe that just popped off so easily. So there's some kind of tissue there over the top, and then you got like a soft pad. I don't know, it's kind of weird shit that I get into here, but it's just applying pressure over the top of it, downward, and they just kind of pop off, and then you can see this part just kind of peels off. Crazy. So the second one, the little dorsal fins, did not come off so easy. I really couldn't get them. So I put it back on some water, thinking maybe I just didn't get it warm enough. And I also grabbed the pliers. Seems like that would be something that would make it a little bit easier. And it does. It just literally popped right off. I think it's just a matter of that grip, but it makes it soft too. So back over here to my workstation. So now I've got these pieces, and I know there's a little bit of hair around them, like just on that edge. Kind of cool. I never knew this was a thing. And it's soft and pliable around the outside. And this frog, it's getting like it's the pad. So I don't know. I think I'm just gonna try to trim it a little bit. Cuts easy enough. I just want to try to get some of that hair off of it. Now I've seen some people take this off and they cut it right down into the, let's see, here's the pad. And this is how the hoof sits on the ground. And this part underneath is soft on that back of that pad. So I seen they cut that off and then just left this nail part, but I'm gonna keep this part on the frog. Well, I think the reason that you take the frog part off is that it makes a better rattle. If that's what you're doing with it, is just trying to get something that makes some noise, because that other part's soft and probably doesn't make that sound as well. But I'm hoping between this and the actual bone, or I suppose you could just use a piece of wood or something, but that with the bone and everything, it'll just make enough noise to piss my dad off every single time that I shake the Nubby NoNo stick at him. Or at least have him remember the time that things got really odd between us. Because this, for me, is more important than killing deer. Now these little ones, they're different. They got more hair that sort of like stuck around the edge. But I'm just gonna try to cut that off a little bit. Let's bring you in for a closer. Whoa. I got my 2 pieces that I cleaned up. I threw the rest away. I don't know if anything is considered a frog on this, but there's a small portion of this is soft. It's just no different than a human nail, I guess I would say. If you pull the corner of your nail out of your skin, it's got that, it's the nail, it's connected to the nail, but it's soft and it's different. I would say that's exactly the feeling of this. The corner of your toe nail. Disgusting toenail. But yet this doesn't seem to bother me at all. There we go. You see why it's a dorsal fin? I think maybe just that extra 30 seconds, 45 seconds on the first one would have made it easier, and not that hair wouldn't have held on so tight, because the second one that I pulled off wasn't nearly as much hair. But there we go. So there's my hoof pieces, and start working on the next part. Okay, so this brings me to the rattle handle, and what I'm going to do is just use this piece that I took the sinew off and just try to cut some of this softer tissue here around the knuckle, and I'm thinking that if I just pull it hard enough, this will just kind of pop out. Separate that ball joint of sorts. Just get rid of some of that connective tissue. I just think stuff like this is, I don't know, it's Dahmerish to see how a bone actually, this part is hard in these pieces, and then it just turns into tissue slowly. It's really fucking weird. It's not anything I'm getting all excited over, if you know what I mean. So that brings me to this piece of bone here. Isn't it just odd that nature shaped this part so incredibly perfectly? You know, the wheel was invented long after deer were on the earth, and yet nature had figured this out. Crazy. But anyways, I think I'm just going to get a bigger pot of water, and I'm actually just going to boil this, and I think that should probably maybe get me where I want to get with the skin and tissue that's on here. Okay, so I cooked this bone. I just boiled it for a little bit, and then if you've ever done a European mount, it's got very similar type of, oh, definitely smell. Just picking at it. Okay, so we've got this sinew that was just sitting around drying. I'm finally getting back to this Nubby NoNo thing. It's hard to really explain what it's like, but it's fairly solid, but it's flexible. And what I'm going to try to do is cut this in half, maybe in half again, maybe in thirds here with a razor blade, and see if I can create some type of string out of it. And here's the bone. So I'm also going to try to drill a hole in here somewhere. I like this part. So maybe I'll try to drill a hole up here. This part might fall off. It's kind of breaking away there, just drying out as it shrinks. So I want to get the hole in the bone, and then I'm gonna transfer that through there and have like a ring with the claws on it. Claws, I don't know. The hoof nails. So my theory here, let's see if we can bring it in a little closer. So they can cut this. I'm sure back in the day the Indians just used their Master Force razor blade to get this stuff into a string, make necklaces and whatever. It kind of twists a little bit, so I need to be a little bit more careful than just going about this willy-nilly. comes apart pretty good. Oh, that's nice. I could just clean these up. I feel like if I push it a little any further, it's kind of, I don't know, kind of almost like a beef jerky type of texture, dry. I don't think it will snap. I don't think I can really snap it. So it's actually is probably, if I work it enough, I can make this pretty flexible. So I have the two pieces. I'm going to try to split one of them again. So it's working. You can see how there's a stringiness to it. Where you could get it off your mark and just chop it off the side. I don't know how much of this I'd actually need. I haven't another piece yet. Of course, I never suggest cutting towards your finger like I was doing. There, I almost slid it off then. Yeah, baby. So, got some nice pieces there. Got three. I'll kind of. The thing is, you probably could almost split it again, but I don't think that I need to. It's already actually. I don't know. I don't want to make it too weak. So. Get ourselves a drill here. A couple of Master Force batteries to go in my Master Force drill. I'm gonna travel a little bit to get my drill bits here. Never drilled through bone before, but that was way too easy. Want it to be tight, but not too tight. So what I want to do is pull one end and have it kind of wedge in the hole. Thinking as I go, this side is a little bigger, so when I pull it here, kind of wedged in there. I thought I can maybe make another hole here and loop that around. So here was a couple additional pieces of this sinew that I had. So I could potentially make 2 loops here maybe. Now, actually at the time of doing this, I don't remember exactly where I was with the other videos, but I left this frog on there, and that is as hard as the rest of the nail. I've seen other people cut that off because they say it's you know, it's soft and it doesn't make that sound, but that's the supposedly soft part, and I mean, that is as hard as it can be. I was actually scratching my beard before I shaved. So I think what I'm gonna do is try to drill the hole through that frog. And then I've got these, what I was calling the dorsal fins, the claws. Just try to... see what we can do here. Yeah. Let's see. I might have to have 2 loops on this. We have one with these 3 on there. Actually, you know, oh, you just try this. With the one. Just going every other one, little one, big one, little one, big one. There we go. Actually make a pretty cool necklace or something if you were like a cave person. Now I'm gonna attach it. This part I don't really know. If I put it in there and then pull this other one tight, probably you could just hit it with a little bit of super glue, a little dab of super glue, and it I can't believe how that's come together. The Nubby NoNo. Now, I think also what I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna wait for the video, is potentially I could take a piece of the tide that I'm tanning, which you'll see this in a separate video. But, I'm tanning this Nubby Buck's hide. Right now, I've just put the tanning solution on yesterday, but the hide is still a little bit damp and wet, so I moved it over here to hang. Otherwise, normally I'd have it flat on the table, but there's generally these little pieces off to the side here that, like from the legs, that I might normally cut off at the end, depending on how wrinkly they get. And I might be able to just cut a little square off to create a handle at the end. So maybe I would wrap that around with some of the additional sinew that I had and just create a nice little soft handle, so when you're holding it, you don't cut your hand or something like that. But there you have it, the Nubby NoNo. Hopefully my dad doesn't ever shoot one when I shake this over his head every time he leaves. See you next time. Hey everybody, I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about magic and how it doesn't exist at all. Magic's not real. What is real though are fathers who shoot Nubby bucks off of your land and prevent you from shooting large, more mature, beautiful bucks like these later on in life. That's why I created the Nubby NoNo Hex Wand. It comes complete with a tanned hide handle, a smooth bone shaft, and a sinew-wrapped hoof cornucopia of sorts. The basic idea is that before he goes out hunting in the future, I can fuck with his head a little bit and tell him, Nubby, no, don't shoot my beautiful little Nubby bucks. Save them, spare them, they're helpless, they're babies. The Nubby NoNo Wand.